Hello everyone, welcome back to our discussion on water resources engineering. In the introductory class last week, we have seen what the subject is about, various contents which will be dealt in the subject, and also we concluded the session by identifying the need for refreshing various basics and fundamentals pertaining to the subject which we have learned in our school level, right? Say for example hydrological cycle, then precipitation, various types and forms of precipitation, etc., which I hope you have done. And for the second class, I've shared with you some contents related to rain gauges. Rain gauges are the instruments which are employed for quantifying the water from precipitation. And in today's session, we will be discussing about optimum number of rain gauges, which are to be employed over a catchment area so as to arrive at some useful information. Okay. Now, before we start with this, I would like to give you an overall idea about, just a quick recap of what we have gone through so far. As per the title, it is Water Resources Engineering, and you know that any engineering involve some design and analysis, right? And for design and analysis, we need some information and knowledge about the materials we deal with. So we need to have an understanding about the characteristics of the material we deal. So here the material is say precipitation in general, but here the material is water, right? So we need to know about the characteristics of the precipitation which takes place, and how to quantify something, and how to how various informations, any wide varieties of informations and observations are to be made out from this. And so to start with this, we need to quantify the 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 rain which we get from each of the rains and precipitations, right? So, and one thing I want to tell you at this stage is it is not just the rain gauges which can be employed to quantify the water from rain. Even you can do this by using advanced radar technique and all, so that can quantify the uh, rain cloud quantity can be done by radar and all. But for simple and quick measurements, it's better to use the rain gauges. Okay. and and if there are number of rain gauges which are already installed in a region, in a catchment area, then the information which is obtained from these rain gauges can be used to determine the optimum number of rain gauges which are required for the area. It's because there should be some proportion between the number of rain gauges as well as the area which are considered for this measurement, right? And so that optimum number of rain gauges can be calculated based on certain information that we can gather from the area under consideration. Now, the optimum number of rain gauges which depend on the coefficient of variation CV of the mean rainfall values at the existing stations as well as the allowable degree of error E. An optimum number of rain gauges is given by m is equal to CV by E whole square, where both CV and E, these two parameters, are expressed in percentage. And this concept will be, you can quickly understand this from the example given here. And another, CV is equal to sigma by P into 100, where sigma is the standard deviation and P dash is the average annual rainfall over the entire catchment. So P dash is equal to sigma P, which is the average rainfall over individual stations, and sum of average rainfalls over individual stations divided by n, and sigma is equal to square root of sigma of P minus P square whole square divided by n minus 1, where this square root is applicable for the denominator also, and thereby we can calculate the total optimum number of rain gauges. And we might have already provided a few rain gauges, but if the number of rain gauges which are already provided is equal to the optimum number, then we don't need to provide anything additional. But in case if the what is provided already is less than the optimum number we get, then we need to increase the number of rain gauges, and which is to be uniformly distributed over the area. Okay, and this calculation you can see determine the optimum number of rain gauges in a catchment area from the following information. Here the information given are the number of rain gauges which are already installed, and the mean annual rainfall at each of these gauges, right? 1000 millimeter, the 950, 850, 800, 700, 600, 400 millimeters, etc. And the permissible error given is 6%. Now, sigma p means it's a sum of rainfall, annual average rainfall at each stations, which is the sum of the values given here, and average annual rainfall over the entire catchment will be average value of this. Dividing it by 8, we get 775, and then sigma of sum of squares of difference between mean average annual rainfall over individual stations and the entire catchment area, that can be calculated, and it we get around 280000, right? And then standard deviation, we can arrive at some number value, and then coefficient of variation CV is equal to sigma by P. This is in percentage, 25.8 percentage, and optimum number of rain gauges is given by M is equal to CV by E whole square. You get 19, which means it requires some additional rain gauges, 11 numbers, right? M minus N is equal to 19 minus 8. And now, so here what we have seen is, for that given area, we need to provide some additional rain gauges so as to get some very useful information from the rain gauges, right? Some which is having some to yield optimal result, we can say like that. Okay, to yield optimum result from the rain gauges, we need to ensure that there is some minimum number of rain gauges for a region. And now it is also possible that sometimes there will be some discontinuity or inconsistency in the data we gather from each of the stations. It is possible sometimes due to some manual error, we may miss to take some data, or sometimes due to some problem with the device, or due to some issues, we may either miss to get the information, or we may get some erroneous value from any of the station. So in such cases, we must be able to we must be able to get the correct value, right? We must be able to work out the correct value of the data that we have lost, right? So continuity which may be broken by damage or fault in the continuity may be broken by damage or fault in the gauge or human error, etc., that we discussed. And so in such cases, the missing or faulty data that can be estimated by using the data from the neighboring stations. And estimation of missing precipitation, there are three different types of three different methods which can be employed to estimate this. One is called comparison method, another is normal ratio method, and third one is iso-Haskell method. So in comparison method, if the rainfall record of the rain gauge station, say X, is missing for a relatively long period, such as a month or a year, it can be estimated by comparing the mean annual rainfall of the station X with that of the adjoining stations. So here PA, so this is a comparison used here. Px by Pa is equal to Nx by Na. And Px and Pa are the precipitation of station X and A, and Nx and Na are the mean annual rainfall of station X and A. So we take this mean annual rainfall in the sense we consider for approximately for some 30 years. So for 30 years there will be some average value. So that value will be taken for N, and then Pa and Px are the precipitation value corresponding to that particular year or for that particular month. Okay, and so by using this relation, we will be able to approximately calculate the missing rainfall value, and then rain gauge value. Sorry, and then normal ratio method is when there is a short break in the precipitation data of the rain gauge station. It can be estimated from the observed data of three adjoining index stations A, B, C. So the adjoining stations are called as index stations, and which are evenly distributed around the station X. So there are 4 stations actually over an area, and suppose one data from one station is missing for a particular period. So in such cases, if the other 3 stations are distributed uniformly around this this particular station where this data is missing. So those stations can be considered as index station, and then we can employ apply this normal ratio method there. So there are further classification for this. Case A is when the mean annual rainfall at each of this index station A, B and C is within 10% of the mean annual rainfall of X. Okay, mean annual value. If for the whole 4 stations, if it is within some 10% variation, so we can go for the simple average value. So Px value will be equal to average of the precipitations of that particular year's precipitation of the 3 index stations. That is a simple average method we can use. Whereas if when the case number 2 is, case B is when the mean annual rainfall at each of the index station which differ from the station X by more than 10%, so normal ratio method is used. Here we go for the weighted average value. So instead of that simple value, we PA divided by Px will be equal to Nx divided by 3 into PA by Na plus PB by Nb plus PC by Nc. So it is not always 3 station. If you have more number of station, then you can make more. If you have more number of stations, then you can consider that denominator in place of 3. You can take any n number of stations, fine, depending upon the stations considered for accuracy. And then third method is called isoheital map method. So in isoheital methods, isoheids are called the contours of equal rainfall depth, right? You know that contours means anything of equal value, we call it as a line connecting the points of equal value. So here isoheids means it's a contour of equal rainfall depths, and an isoheid map is prepared from the records of various rain gauge stations by interpolations, and missing data due to a particular storm is estimated by interpolating the precipitation data of 2 isoheids between which the station lies. So I can show you graphically. Suppose this is a catchment area, and now from our detailed record which is available with the meteorological department, we'll be able to identify the we'll be able to form the contours. Contours means the points of equal isoheids of equal rainfall depth. Now ഇതൊരു 5 സെന്റിമീറ്റർ മഴ പെയ്യുന്ന സ്ഥലങ്ങളെയൊക്കെ കണക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു ലൈൻ, 6 സെന്റിമീറ്റർ മഴ പെയ്യുന്ന സ്ഥലങ്ങൾ, 8 സെന്റിമീറ്റർ, അങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് കോണ്ടൂർസ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാം. നൗ അവർ ഏരിയ സപ്പോസ് നമുക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്പോട്ടിൽ ഒരു പ്രത്യേക സ്ഥലത്തിലെ ഡാറ്റ നമുക്ക് അറിയില്ല, പക്ഷെ അവിടെയാണ് നമ്മുടെ റെയിൻ ഗേജ് ഉള്ളത് സ്റ്റേഷൻ. അപ്പോൾ അവിടുത്തെ വാല്യൂ ആണ് നമുക്ക് മിസ്സായിട്ടുള്ളത് എങ്കിൽ then we can actually interpolate between these 2 points and arrive at the value. So it will be somewhere in between. അങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് ഇന്റർപോളേറ്റ് ചെയ്തെടുക്കാം. സോ ഇതാണ് നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഈ മിസ്സിംഗ് ഡാറ്റ എങ്ങനെ ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യാം എന്നുള്ളത്. ഓക്കെ, സോ ഇതുവരെ നമ്മൾ എന്തൊക്കെ കണ്ടു? ഒന്ന്, നമുക്ക് precipitation ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് അറിയാം, അതിന് ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ടൈപ്സ് ഓഫ് precipitation, ഫോംസ് ഓഫ് precipitation ഉണ്ടെന്ന് അറിയാം. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ precipitate ചെയ്യുന്ന ഈ precipitation നമുക്ക് അതിൻ്റെ കുറേ ക്യാരക്ടറിസ്റ്റിക്സ് മനസ്സിലാക്കണം, അതിനകത്ത് കുറേ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ കളക്ട് ചെയ്യണം, അതിനെ സ്റ്റഡി ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് എന്തായാലും പലതരത്തിലുള്ള ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെൻറ്റ്സ് ഉപയോഗിക്കണം, അതുപോലെയുള്ള കുറേ അനാലിസിസും കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്. അതിന് ആദ്യം വേണ്ടത് നമുക്ക് ഈ റെയിൻ ഗേജസ് പോലെയുള്ള ഇൻസ്ട്രുമെൻറ്റ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ട് നമുക്ക് അതിനകത്തുള്ള ഡാറ്റ കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാം. എത്രയാണ് ആവറേജ് റെയിൻഫോൾ ഓവർ എൻ ഏരിയ, അത് വെച്ചിട്ടാണ് ബാക്കിയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ അതിൽ തന്നെ ചിലപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഒരു സ്റ്റേഷൻ്റെ വാല്യൂ ചിലപ്പോൾ മിസ്സായി പോയേക്കാം. അങ്ങനെ വരുന്ന ഒരു സമയങ്ങളിൽ എങ്ങനെയാണ് മിസ്സിംഗ് ഡാറ്റ നമ്മൾ മേക്കപ്പ് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ കണ്ടത്. അതിനുശേഷം ഇനി നമുക്ക് അറിയേണ്ടത്, ഇങ്ങനെ നമ്മൾ ഈ മിസ്സിംഗ് ഡാറ്റയൊക്കെ വെച്ച് അതൊക്കെ റെക്ടിഫൈ ചെയ്ത് നമ്മൾ ഓരോരോ സ്റ്റേഷനിലും റെയിൻ ഗേജസ് സ്റ്റേഷനിലും നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്ന മഴയുടെ ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റി ഒക്കെ നമുക്ക് അറിഞ്ഞതിന് ശേഷം പിന്നീട് എന്താണ് അത് ബാക്കിയുള്ള കാൽക്കുലേഷൻസ് എന്താണെന്നുള്ളത് നിങ്ങൾ അടുത്ത സെഷനിൽ നമുക്ക് കാണാം. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് മുന്നേ എനിക്ക് വാട്ട് ഐ വാണ്ട് യു ഓൾ ടു ഡു ഇസ് ആഫ്റ്റർ just go through these contents and thereafter I'll give you an assignment for this week. I mean not assignment, some exercise for this week. ഇതിന് ശേഷം നമുക്ക് അങ്ങനെ ഓരോരോ സ്റ്റേഷൻസിലും ഉള്ള റെയിൻഫോളിൻ്റെ ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് കിട്ടിയതിന് ശേഷം നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ആവറേജ് ആനുവൽ റെയിൻഫോൾ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാം എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ചോദ്യം. എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമുക്ക് ടോട്ടൽ റെയിൻഫോൾ ആവറേജ് റെയിൻഫോൾ ഡെപ്ത് ഓവർ എൻ ഏരിയ അതെങ്ങനെ നമ്മൾ കാൽക്കുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും എന്നുള്ളത് നിങ്ങൾ ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ബുക്ക് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മറ്റ് കണ്ടന്റിൽ നോക്കാം. ആവറേജ് ആനുവൽ റെയിൻഫോൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആവറേജ് ആനുവൽ ആവറേജ് റെയിൻഫോൾ ഡെപ്ത് ഓവർ എൻ ഏരിയ അത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് കാൽക്കുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളത് നിങ്ങൾ നോക്കിയിട്ട് നമുക്ക് എന്നിട്ട് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാം. ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു.